touchy subject of started to make intentional steps toward bettering my life. I noticed that not everybody in my life was happy about the elevation. Envy and jealousy, and managing those emotions in others as we elevate our lives. And I wanted to start with this subject because it's something that I wish that I had been warned about when this was a whole new world for me. I loved to write, so it was I was able to merge some of the things that I really enjoyed doing while also meeting new people and working on my relationship with my mom. But I noticed that some of the most important relationships in my life started to shift. Not everybody was happy about this. But I also noticed that in some of my other relationships, snide remarks that were being said, or if I talked about something exciting that happened to me and there was not excitement, there was no congratulations, or there was not excitement. So when we talk about envy and jealousy, many times those two words are used interchangeably, but they don't have the same meaning. Jealousy is an emotion that I believe that most people at some time have felt. Envy is jealousy 2.0. So jealousy is about the person. It's about them not wanting to lose. Envy is about you. Envy is about them not wanting you to win. If you're jealous over your partner who is always going out to different parties or something, it is because you don't want to lose that connection. You don't want to lose that person. But if you are envious of your partner, it's because you don't want them to have what they have. So it's a big difference between you not wanting to lose and you not wanting the other person to win. So I talked about how some of my relationships kind of shifted, and I started to see what people really thought of me, people that I had grown to really depend on, people that I thought will always be in my life, people that had always encouraged me. Because for so much of my life, I lived beneath the calling that was on my life. I just allowed life and love to happen to me. I wasn't an active participant. I was a victim in every situation. And rather than looking at what I could have done differently, I played the victim and I pointed the finger at what everyone else did. Not to say that what they did was okay, but when I came to the realization that no one was coming to save me, and I was going to have to get out there and do the work to create the life that I desire, I got really intentional and I just really hit the ground running. So all of the people who had encouraged me over the years, of the people that were really, really important to me, the people that I thought will always be there, I think that they, even though they always encouraged me and you can do it, I called my dad and I was talking to him about the situation, and I was just really torn because I felt like I needed to make a choice between whether I was going to continue with my blog or whether I was going to try to establish this relationship with the person that I really, one of my best friends. And I remember I called my dad and I was telling my dad about it, and I was crying, and I said, I'm just gonna stop. I'm just gonna shut the blog down and just, okay, I'll just be done with it. And my dad is, he's really funny. He uses very colorful language. So you can probably assume what he said, but he said, no, don't you dare. You shut your blog down. This is something that you enjoy doing. In your heart, that when you did that post, you were not trying to be disloyal. You were not trying to hurt them. Just don't stop your blog. And I didn't know at the time where that blog was going to lead me. I thought it was just a blog. I was just writing. I would maybe write for some magazines. Maybe I would write a book. Maybe I would eventually land on the Essence bestseller list, New York Times bestseller list. But I didn't know that out of that blog that the Blessed Dating Chronicles would come, and that other opportunities would pop up, and that I would eventually be a relationship coach. I assumed that jealousy means that you have, so if someone is jealous of you, that you have something that they want. And I couldn't see what it was that I had that they wanted, because what I had was a little corner of the internet where I could use it as my diary. That's what I had. But from the outside looking in, this person was way more successful than I had. I had earned, from the blog, but it wasn't anything to write home about. It wasn't anything that could really sustain me. I had a hobby that I was getting some extra money from. I had a hobby that was allowing me to go to different events and those kinds of things. I had a hobby that was allowing me to be a part of a community of people who had the same interests as I did. And I couldn't understand why my friend kept telling me, they are jealous of you, they're jealous of you. It didn't make sense, because they were much farther along in their life than I was. That's when I started to really understand the difference between jealousy and envy, because it wasn't about them not wanting to lose. This was about, because that would have meant that it was about them not wanting to lose the relationship that we had. They didn't want there to be distance in our relationship. But this was more about control, because up until that time, if that person ever had a problem with something that I was doing, I would stop. And I realized that this person, it wasn't that they didn't want to lose. It wasn't that they did not want to lose our relationship. It wasn't that they didn't want even to lose the control or the influence that they had over my life. This person did not want me to win. Let's talk about Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel were in the Bible, and both of them were giving sacrifices to God. And the man was that you're supposed to give a sacrifice of your first fruit. And Cain gave his sacrifice, and he gave his first fruit. And it was accepted by God, and it was accepted by the sign that it was accepted was that it was consumed by fire. Well, Abel gave his, and he did not give the best, and it was not his first fruit. And his sacrifice was not accepted. It was not consumed by fire, and he was upset, and he killed his brother. Now, that was the first recorded instance of envy, because it wasn't that he didn't want to lose. He didn't want Cain to win. In his eyes, Cain had won approval from God. He had done what he was supposed to do, and he killed him. Think of the people in your life who are envious of you as wanting to kill you. And it may not be physical, in a physical sense, they want you wiped off of the planet, but they may want to kill your dreams. They may want to kill your ambition. They may want to kill your relationship. Desire. You see, I had decided that I was going to be intentional about dating and make a list of the things that I desired in a mate. But that list wasn't very specific. And the only thing that was on the list was I needed him to go to church. With that information, I understood that the mind was very powerful, and that I could set an intention about the type of relationship that I desired. So I went back to the drawing board, and I started to design a plan for me to attract the relationship that I desired.
There's so much more to uncover on this journey to attracting love that is not just good, but great. Until then, keep rising, keep shining, and remember the love you seek is already seeking you.